zone. But what I have in this data set I have a state column in that data set. So I will need to find a way to create a zone column, okay, to do the analysis. So, for example, if you have a data set, maybe like superstore data set, and your stakeholder need analysis based on profit, and there's no profit in that data set. So you must find a way. You must look for some columns that can give you profit column. So what you just need to do is to create a calculated column. So you calculate the values you have in that data set to get another column to get profit. So if you need a profit for the analysis, so profit column, so you need to look at the data set. Is it contain sales as selling price and the cost price? So you will now use the two columns to generate another column for the profit. Okay, so like the one I did here, I have state column. Okay, so I know that state, I can use state to formulate a zone column, because what I just need to do is to group some states. Okay, group them into zone. Okay, so if you look at, let's check the code. Okay, so for zone, okay, so look at this. So what you just need to do is to know some states that belong to a particular zone. Okay, so you just group them. So look at this one. Zone equals to switch. Then true admission state. And so you are going to list some states that belongs to North Central. Okay, so as you can see, so I started with Benue, then Kogi, and so on. So all these states, they are what? North Central. So second one, Adamawa, Northeast. So if you look at this one, so it's different from measure. So measure is to get one value, okay? But calculated columns, so you will generate values for calculated columns based on the number of rows you have in another column. So you will use our existing columns to generate your calculated column. So, and the values you will get for calculated column are going to base on the number of rows you have in the existing column. So like this one, I don't have a zone column in the data set before, but I have a state. And I know that states can generate a zone for me. So by grouping some states to do what? To get a zone. So that is reason I wrote DAX formulas to create a calculated column. So anywhere we have all these states, so it's going to assign North Central to all the states in this brackets. So then second one, Northeast, and so on like that. So another way you can use calculated column is to maybe if it is values like sales and cost price, as I mentioned other time, that if, okay, you want to get profit column, so you can get a profit column from other columns. So then I also use a calculated column to create sort faculties. Let's check this. Okay, look at this one. I want to create a chart, pie chart. Okay, this is donut. So I want to I want to visualize enrollment based on faculties. So, and if you look at the name of individual faculties, so they are long names. So like this one, Litman University Jupiter Foundation School. So if I use this one on my chart on the donut, so I'm going to full this session. So it is better to reduce the name so that it won't be cumbersome in that session. So that is reason I use calculated column to create another column. So I now call the column sort faculties, that is sort names. Okay, so you can use maybe faculties underscore sort. Okay, so can use it sort faculties. So anywhere we have education, so it's going to represent it as edu. Okay, so anywhere we have agriculture, so it will represent the value as what AGR. So that is how I created another column, okay, with DAX. So what I will now do is I will now create the donut chart using enrollment values and then sort faculties column. So instead of using the original column, which is faculty column, so I will now use the calculated column to plot the chart, so that what I will have as the values is going to be the sort names for the faculties. So that is those are the importance of a calculated column. Okay, if I want to create a particular column based on the existing one, so it's going to add it to the data set. So then I have another one here, another calculated column. Okay, state. So let's check this. Okay, it is still open. Okay, now, so that is the explanation of calculated column. So let's now create a column. So with the data set we have, so which is Superstore. So now what we have here, it is still loading. So what we have under our others table, so we have our profit, then we have our sales. So now if we need a cost price, so it means we are going to deduct our profit from sales to get what? To get cost price. So by using what? By creating calculated column for cost price. Okay. Okay, so now let me create a calculated column. So okay. So this one is still loading. Maybe I should. Okay. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, we can see it, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I want to use our project to create calculated column. Okay, maybe let me close it and reopen it because it is hanging. Okay. So we press data. Now this one. So I'm trying to upload a new data set uh, into the Power BI. So we now create a calculated column uh, in that data set. Okay, okay, we have three data sets here. So I want to create more calculated columns in other data sets. Okay. We are pending changes. I will need to. So I've explained measure that you can use measures to find the aggregation, to find the sum of a column, okay, in your data set. So then calculated column, look at this one, uh, created by adding a new column in the table. So we use calculated column can be created by adding a new column in the table. For example, profit. So if you have a amount column and a cost column, so in your data set, so you can get a profit column. So by subtracting cost price from what? From amount. Okay, so that is a basic example of a calculated column. Okay, so you can use a calculated column to get a different result. Okay, for example, if you can use a if statement to get a calculated column that okay, if so amounts if they are greater than if your values are greater than 100, so you should assign a status uh, maybe I as a status. So if they are lower than 100, so you should assign what? Low to the column. So you can get your calculated column like that. Then so while Power BI is opening, because I want us to create one calculated column before we move to the next topic. Uh, Although I've explained it uh, in that student enrollment project. So another thing I want us to understand is context. So we have two types of context. We have row context and filter context. So row context apply in calculated columns. So when you create a calculated column, so it's going to make use of row context by calculating row wise based on row. As we have it, the row context refers to the current row in the table, automatically apply in calculated column. So if you are creating a calculated column, so it's going to calculate the column. It's going to give you values based on rows in the existing column. Okay, so it's going to use the rows one by one. So that is a row context. So calculating columns are based on row. But filter context is when you use filter function. So that instead of calculating the values row by row, so it's going to use a filter context because you use a filter function. Okay, so maybe you just want to get you want to create a calculated column based on maybe based on some particular values in your column. So you now use a filter function. So if you use filter function in your formulas, so it will calculate the column in filter context. So not row context now. So row context is just to calculate all the rows in the existing columns and give you the calculated column. But filter context is when you use a filter function in the formulas. So it's going to calculate the columns in filter context. So and also it can be modified using a function like calculate. So if I want to calculate your column in filter context, so you are going to make use of this function, calculate. This one, then we also use filter in that function. Let's see if there is any example of that. Okay, this is time intelligence. Okay. Okay. Now, calculated column is okay, we have explained calculated column. So, but filter context is a set of filters that have been applied before the calculation is carried out. So they can be applied in several ways, so including attributes in a row or columns. So via slicer through the filter pane or in a calculated measure. So I want us to create a calculated column. So let me check. So this is still open. I don't know why PowerBI is behaving like this today. So, okay, let me reopen it. So after calculated columns, then we have a calculated table. So so let's see this. Okay, calculated table. So let me just explain calculated table. So we are going to create both calculated columns and tables when the Power BI open. So now in Power BI, you can create a calculated table using DAX. So calculated tables are computed based on a DAX formula and stored in the data model. So just like regular tables. So they are useful for creating derived tables, custom groupings, or aggregations that are not available in your original data. So, you know, in the previous project, so we make use of 3 tables: customers, sales, and products. So you can add one more table to your data set. So making 4. So by using the values you have in the existing tables to create another table. So that one will be what is going to be calculated table, as we normally do in calculated column. So we use the existing column to create calculated column. So for table, so you use the values you have in the existing table to create another table. Okay, so the table can be maybe a summary of a particular column, in another table. Are you getting that? So for example, creating date table, okay, creating calculated table. So you can use you can create a date table. So using calculated table, so you can create a summary table. Okay, so this one summarizes sales by categories. So if you want to create a calculated table, so you just go to the modeling in your Power BI. So if you click on modeling, so it will show you a window where you can click on new table. Okay, so when you click on new table, then you start writing your DAX formula to create the table. So you start with table name, so equals to DAX expression. So for example, see this one. If you want to create a date table, so you don't need the column in the existing table. So you just start with a calendar function. So you have calendar function. If maybe you want to create a date table between a particular year, okay, maybe from one year to another. So for example, this one, this is a date table from year 2020 to 2023. Okay, so this one, you don't need any values from the existing table. Okay, so to create a date table. But look at this one. You want to summarize the sales column based on category. So you start with the name of the table. Okay, then you now use this function summarize. So into bracket the name of the data set. Okay, you know, for our own, we have orders. So that means we have orders here, comma, orders into brackets. Okay, where we have the product category, we have product category in product. Okay, let's check. Okay, it is open. So I want to open the project, the dashboard. I think the data set, the dashboard has been lost. Let's check this. So let's continue. So this one, summarize. So we use this function, summarize function into brackets, where the table where you have a product category, because we want to find the sum of amounts. Okay, so sum of amounts are based on a category. So you have sales, but this one, they use just one data set. So which is sales. So now have a sales product category, comma, total sales. So this is a one column. Okay, so comma, sum of sales amount. So it will total the column. So it's going to total it based on product category. So then average sales. So it's going to find the average sales amount based on categories. So what we have here, so we are going to have two columns in this table, total sales and average sales. Okay, so it's going to create a table. So to create a table so that will contain average, sums, total sales and average sales. I want to check this Power BI is misbehaving today. Okay, well, let's open this. Okay. Okay. So this is another one. You can also use filtering to create another table. So this creates a table with only rows where the sales amount is greater than 1,000. Okay, so it's going to extract values of sales amounts that are greater than 1,000 and create a table for it. So which means for this one, you have just one column in that table. Okay, so this one to combine two tables. Okay, so if you have two data sets, so you can extract a column from one data set and extract another column from another data set, then combine both together to create a table. So combining two tables, so you can have okay, sales and returns equals to union. We normally use union in SQL to join two or more tables. So you can also use it in DAX. So by using union, you can have it like this: union into brackets, specify the table, the data set, comma, another data set. So it's going to combine all the columns you have in the first table and the columns in the second one. But what you just need to understand about the union is that both tables must have the same column. Okay, so but if you just want to select columns from the two tables, so you can just use a function, this select columns. Okay, so you specify the name of the table, which is sales amount. Okay, then the name of the column in your new table will be called amount. Okay, so then okay, we need another one type. So then you select another columns, which is amount in return. Okay, so this one is used to combine two tables. So to create another calculated table. Okay, then you can also use it for grouping. You can group some certain values to create a new table. So what I'm going to do now is I will share this material. So since Power BI refused to open, so
Okay, sir.
I will share it. So I'll try to practice the code in that material. So
Okay,
if
sir.
you have challenges with that, so you can just you can ask me, let me know. So we look into it together. So
Okay, sir.
that yes, that is that on a calculated column, and then there's other one that I want to explain. So which is time intelligence. Although this one there's no much about that. So you can use time intelligence to create a table, date table. Okay, so based on date. So we have different functions in we have different time intelligence functions. So for example, this same period last year. So if you want to create a date table, okay, so using this function, so it's going to calculate like the one we have here, calculate into bracket sum sales amount. So it will total the amount Okay, so based on the date you specify here, so to look at the this state, same period last year. Okay, that is we are in February 15, 2025. Okay, so it will start from February 15, 2024. Okay, so that is what this function does. This same period last year. Okay, so we have another one. Okay, date add. So if you want to add one more year, okay, add a specified number of interval to a date. So we use this date add function. Okay, then total year to date. So this one is going to calculate the sum of amount, okay, based on this date. Okay, based on this, so it will look at the date column in this data set and calculate